This video is sponsored by Infinity Kingdom. Day 35 in server 136 for the Revival of Cities event. We are in a period of relative peace after the bloody wars against the blue faction, so I think it's the perfect time to touch some development topics. Some of you guys asked me on Discord which are the most important technologies to aim for in the academy in order to get the best value for your investment. Basically, the best bang for your buck. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Hello gamers and welcome back to the channel. Technology. As probably most of the city builders out there, in Infinity Kingdom as well we have the researchable technology that helps you improve your fighting, production and defense capabilities. When we open up the academy, we can immediately see that the tech is divided in 4 branches: production, troops, immortals and defense. Across the board, which are the best ones to aim for in order to better succeed in the early game? Let's talk about it. Before, remember that you can come play with us in server 136 Revival of Cities. What you need to do is just download the game using my link in the description of this video, create a new character in server 136 and come have fun. First and foremost, this is a city builder, as we said, and in order to get things done fast, you need more building speed. That's why the very first tech you should pick in this game is speedy construction. This one right here, over on the production tree. I have it at level 9 right now, and my suggestion is to bring it up to the maximum level your academy allows you to, which in my case is exactly 9. And this tech will grant you 3% extra building speed for every step of the way, up to 30% at level 10. Now, ideally, if we weren't on a very competitive server, I would go all the way to rapid progress, as soon as your prerequisites allow you to get there. As soon as you upgrade your academy, if your plan is to grow faster and not compete too much in PvP, you should really check and research everything your new academy level allows you to research. And rapid progress is where you get your technology research speed boosts, in the same exact amount of the extra building speed for the speedy construction research. This is going to speed up the process for every other research you will perform in the academy. And I will personally do exactly that, now that we have a relative peace status on the server and the biggest wars are now off the table. Afterwards, go straight into the troops branch of the academy. Marching time is crucial in this game, especially when you are capturing a city, fighting against other players, or even sending farmers out to gather resources on the map. That is why superhuman speed is so important, but it's also obvious because anyway it's the first one of the troops tree and you cannot really skip it. And what to pick next? The next 4 will increase the attack of the troops, from top to bottom: shieldmen, spearmen, cavalry and bowmen. My advice is go always with bowmen first. Why? Simple, you have 2 bowmen immortals in each of your marches. Differently from the front line where you have 3 options: spearmen and cavalry, spearmen and shieldmen, or shieldmen and cavalry, in the backline you can only have bowmen. And being them 2, you will benefit 2 times from researching this tech. So first go for Arrow Storm, and then for the other 2 corresponding to the 2 troop types you are running on your main march. For example, I have Alexander the Great and Charles on my Earth March, therefore I'll go with Split the Earth and Strength of 1000 respectively for shieldmen and cavalry. Same story here for the defense research. You will start researching the boosts for the troop type you don't need only when the next steps require them to proceed further. The goal here is to reach abundant supplies as soon as possible. Almost every action that involves dispatching your troops in this game, probably except gathering, will consume AP, or action points, so you can imagine how abundant supplies is a great tech to reach. At level 10, it will give you up to 30% reduced AP consumption, which essentially means that you will spend only 70 AP if the original cost of your marching was 100. It's very important you get there. And this little trick of researching the boost for the troop type you don't need as last will help you optimize this run. Another way to optimize this run is to min-max everything you get to abundant supplies and then go back and upgrade the rest only when you need that. In case of server 136, I was one of the main fighters for my alliance, so I didn't do that. I preferred investing my resources and speedups in upgrading the boost for my march as much as I could, sacrificing my run to get to abundant supplies, so probably I spent many more APs than I needed. And I wouldn't do that again if I had more time to develop my fighting capabilities on a new server. So Please keep that in mind. After you research all the levels for abundant supplies that you can, it's time for the Immortal branch of the Academy. You have different choices to make here. If you are PvP focused and you're a spender in the game, then you could dodge Veteran in order to focus more on boosting the fighting capabilities of your Immortals in the same exact way you did for the troops. So start with the Bowman Immortal researches, then the 2 troop types you use on the front of your main march, all the way to boost consumption. Boost consumption will help you a lot, reducing the cost in gold for upgrading the boost level of your Immortals, which I spoke about in one of my previous videos, alongside with my best tips and tricks to grow your march fast in Infinity Kingdom. If you're interested and you want to watch that video, I'll leave a card up on the top. Personally, as soon as I finish my rock-solid research, I will make sure to go back to boost consumption and to veteran and upgrade them as much as I possibly can before proceeding further on the tree. After, you must pick up outstanding talent. This research right here is arguably one of the best researches in the entire game. Having a higher initial energy anytime you start a battle for your Immortals, against gnomes, against bosses, in the Well of Time, against other players, is crucial. In the same conditions, with the same Immortals and skills, a player who has slightly more stats versus a player who has more initial energy, the one with the most initial energy will probably win. Of course, every battle is different and it will also depend on the luck you have in that particular context, with dodging the attacks, critical hits, etc. But the initial energy is amazingly powerful, and I really suggest you research outstanding talent right after you finish on the troop tree. At this point, getting all the researches I mentioned is going to take a while. We are kinda entering the end game progress for your academy. You can focus a bit more now on your production tree, boosting some more of your gathering speed, your troop load, which is kinda optional, but eventually you will have to do that in order to get to reorganization. So boosting your prosperity recovery speed. And at the same time, you could focus on increasing your training grounds capacity by researching million heroes right here. This will give you up to 30% extra troop capacity, so when you are in a big battle you will have to worry a bit less about not having enough troops to sustain your fighting marches. About that, a pro tip I usually apply in case of emergency is to remove the Immortals I'm not using when I'm fighting and I have a low troop count. For example, now a lot of my troops are healing and I'm short on bowman count. I will not use my 3rd or 4th marches to fight. I use them usually for gathering purposes only. This account is only 35 days old, so what I like to do is to remove the Bowman Immortals from the lineup or any other Immortal that leads troop that I need in that moment. So in this way I will make sure that the troops allocated to that Immortal will be available for my other marches to use. Those troops will essentially not be occupied. You will also reduce your power in this way, and this is a nice trick if you are trying to migrate to a new server and you want to use less space portals. I have a migration guide on the channel. I will leave a card up on the top if you're interested. Things have changed a little bit recently, but most of the tips are still 100% valid. For the endgame, it's important that you get to the end of the troops tree, with shield block, spear swipe, lance thrust and double shot. Those are extremely important boosts for your troops, which will grant them extra effects, like extra probability to perform an additional normal attack for your bowman. Those are very expensive and they have as prerequisite all the troop tree, so it will take you a long time to get there, so you don't need to worry about that now. And then, only then, after you finish everything, you can work on the tree we have neglected up to this point. I'm talking about the defense research tree. Unless you have completed everything else we said up to this point, I would not touch the defense tree. Through this tree you will be able to unlock higher tiers of fortifications, which you can build on your wall, and they are going to help you against other players attacking your city. But again, this is the very last step to complete your account, and I'm sure most of the players will get there after many months or years of patience and grinding. That's it for the research. A little final update about the current events in the Revival of Cities event in 136. We have almost completed the first stage, and the rewards will be assigned soon for the occupation of cities up to level 6. This past weekend we have played for the first time with our alliance the Illusion Battlefield event, which was very nice to play, and thanks to one of our experienced players who led us with a good strategy, Lord, we managed to soundly win our first matchup against AGT from server 129. If you want to join us, I remember you can download the game using my link in the description down below in this video. We are in server 136, Revival of Cities, Green Faction, Alliance EW, Immortal Warriors. Thank you for tuning in, and thanks again to Infinity Kingdom for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao!